Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. I'm always right. I'm always right. Since the 80s and wasn't always cool, especially with the ladies. I was a damn fool. Dad was an alcoholic. Mama, she had to leave him. Grew up around the fighting, the fussing, cussing, and cheating. That's when I started breaking all of the rules. Selling drugs and robbing people. I was kicked out of school. I was a bad kid, mad kid, tearing shit up. Sleeping on couches with 40 bottles and cigarette butts. Years go by and I got sick. Stage 4 lymphoma, how'd I get this shit? Lucky to be alive, so I changed my ways. I'm on that good life tip today. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world. I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go there with me, girl. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Baby, we can have it all. We can make love by the waterfalls. I'm living that good life after all.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Bleaves. This is Breakfast with Bleaves. This is going to be an abridged version today because I got shit to do in the office. So anyway, the important thing, though, is that to lead off, we finally got a little bit of positive price action just starting on Luna Classic. We got a little bit of positive price action starting on Ethereum. We're finally seeing a little bit of a growth starting to happen in the market again after almost an unexplainable dip in all of the overnights, et cetera, et cetera. UK 100 down almost 1%, but the stock 600 is about dead even. DXY starting to come down. Korean index basically traded even on the day. The Asian markets basically traded even on the day. I should probably put this on a different chart level. But everything seems to be. And then U.S. oil prices came down pretty dramatically. DXY is continuing to come down. So all the opportunity is here right now for us to have a nice little run in crypto. And the question is, can we have that run, or are we going to get that run? And you can see here that ETH is trading at about 1356, starting to mint new highs. Like, we're really starting to see this sort of pump in a direction that doesn't suck. And we're not hitting this part, we're not perfect on this yet. This is kind of just an idea, a work in progress, if you will, about where we're going. I mean, you can see obviously that the trend right here is vastly improved to the upside. So, if we just kind of trend along this line right now, and you know what, matter of fact, let's make this a go line. There we go. All right. And then we're going to make that a heavy line. So we're going to follow that for the next little while. See if we kind of stay along this little trend line, because if we do, then the end of this means that we are back on a nice little uptrend. But to hear the rest of the world tell you this, you wouldn't believe it, because everybody's looking for all kinds of different negative sentiment. They're trying to figure out ways to FUD crypto. It's just become a very weird sort of amalgamation of like what in the F is going on in every part of the news. Let's start off with this. We're going to start off with the earnings today from the stock market. And when you look here, you can see this is the first one up today. Revenue of 52 cents per share. So this one hit at 45, 66 per share, 78. So this one missed, but the earnings, the volume is good. 743 million. Portland General reaffirmed 65 on 63. So it's a hit. CNC narrows their guidance, 130 on 122. Polaris Industries beats on revenue of 2.3 billion, 325 to 285 a share. Nice win. UPS beats, obviously. People are sending their shit everywhere. Synchrony Financial, 4.4 billion on 3.9, revenue at 147 versus 142. Beats, TransUnion beats but guides lower. General Motors beats. General Electric misses, 19.1 billion on 19 billion though. Revenue per share is 35 versus 47 cents, which was the guesstimate there. So that is a big miss, by the way. Pulse Group reports 3M. 3M is another big one. They beat. Xerox beats. No, Xerox not even close. 19 cents per share. The consensus estimate was 37 cents a share. So not a great look there. Valero Energy. How does an energy company miss? I can't even imagine that an energy company is missing their goal. But here's the thing: $7.14 a share, $7 a share. They absolutely crushed it. Earnings Whisperer said $9.27 per share. Earnings Whisperer just doesn't know what they're talking about. So, but we've already established that, right? Halliburton beats because you know what I'm talking about. Halliburton kills people. You know what I mean? Coca-Cola beats. RTX Raytheon Technologies. So if you have a video card in your computer, oh yeah, baby, you just beat. Sherwin-Williams beats. Moody's misses. Cleveland Cliffs. Archer Daniels Midland on 24.7 billion in revenue, on 22.4 estimate, $1.86 per share versus $1.42. Huge win. JetBlue misses. JetBlue is very close though. Corning misses, and Corning was basically right in line. They were 51 per share, and they got 51 per share, but they lost on 3.5 billion revenue versus 3.7. Biogen beats big time. On and on down the line. Okay, so now we move on from that, and what we have is all of the catalysts in place for a good day. Now, if there's any drawdown, if there's any negativity that you're feeling, that's that pre-market sentiment right now. As you can see right here, the pre-market is at a negative 149 because everybody's waiting right now because today is Microsoft Google Day. So we're going to see some updates on Microsoft and Google coming in the next little while, and then we're going to get a good idea of where this market is headed from there. Also, looking at CoinGlass over here, I wanted to, I've been watching this for a while, and I keep bringing this up to you guys so that you can see it, but I want you to take a look here. September was a -3, and it always negative. It always seems to be negative except these two right here, right? But you have a negative 1.74, a positive 2.35, positive 2.2. Generally speaking, though, you see a lot of high volatility. What you don't see is incredibly low, boring volatility for any extended period of time. But look at this. We're at negative 3.12, and right now we're at negative 0.7. There is nowhere on this chart where you've seen anywhere close to this small level of mini volatility to this point in the history of crypto. So that really talks, it really says something for the improved sort of stability of cryptocurrency. So you want to see another big pump, and I do think that we're still in line for another big pump because you're starting to see it with Ethereum right now. Bitcoin, I think today might be that day. We had the breakout. Now it's whether we can close that deal, so to speak. But we've rarely ever seen a breakout like this. So, and then over here, you're about to see. Now, listen, I moved my chart here just a little bit on Luna Classic because it looked like, like I thought we were pretty good with, where we were like right in here. And I had it that we had kind of broken out. We were using it as support, stuff like that. But now that I'm redoing it, I'm just kind of saying like, maybe this is where we are. Maybe this was where it was meant to be all along. But we're just guessing, right? We're putting it in the line here, and we're saying that this is just kind of our tight little channel that we're working through. Maybe we'll get an actual breakout pretty soon. But I don't know for sure. Like we're in this weird little space at this moment where the entire crypto market just doesn't seem to have direction. Now, when the entire crypto market doesn't have direction, then the general sentiment is, well, if it can't go up, it's got to go down, right? If you look at Bitcoin over here, we tested 19.7 right here and got soundly rejected all the way back down to where we were before. Now we're just kind of trending. And again, I did the same thing with Bitcoin last night. And you see here, it's just kind of trending along that line. So is it resistance? Is it support? I don't know yet. Like maybe my line's a little bit off. We'll see, because I'm guessing based on where this thing was down here and where it goes up here, like, you know, I mean, I could be slightly off. We could be bouncing off of this thing a couple times as support, and we're about to push up. But I mean, it does stand to reason here that when you're looking at this, if this is the line right there, then then we could be bouncing off of the support. Like we might get another move up here, and then we get a little bit sideways action, a little bit downward movement, and then maybe we start to bounce and we start to use this as support, and we start to just send ourselves up this way, because it's what it looks like. I mean, it looks like we're starting to mint a little bit higher lows, and I know it's kind of tough to see, but if you grant me just a little bit here, that, you know, it looks like it feels like we're moving in a positive direction, even though it's kind of slow. Like we're seeing it start to move in this direction, and we're seeing the resistance points start to show up in a good spot here to tell us that we're on our way up. We haven't seen that, by the way, develop in Luna Classic yet. That's going to take a little bit of time. Like we're just not there yet. At best, you can say this kind of looks like it's an upward momentum, but it's just coming from right here. And I don't think that this is not indicative of what's really happening. That's just, in my mind, it's kind of a wish list at this point, if that makes sense. Like it just looks like we're still down and that we've got some work to do over here. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But again, this is going to be an abridged one. First, Terra case witness faces 8 years for $70 million fraud. According to local South Korean news outlet Korean Economic Daily, Kim So-jun, a key witness called to testify in the Terra parliamentary inquiry, did not show up, citing extreme stress. Sao-jun is the CEO of venture capital firm Hashed and an early Terra investor. Sao-jun cited reasons for extreme stress for not being able to attend the inquiry. As per the news reports, Sao-jun is one of 6 people shortlisted to participate in the South Korean parliament inquiry into the Terra collapse. The South Korean government is trying to better understand the events that led to the $40 billion wipeout of Luna and UST. Sao-jun sent a letter to the National Assembly to explain his absence. He said that following the abrupt demise of Luna Classic and depegging of its linked algorithmic stablecoin USTC, he experienced serious mental breakdown. He stated, "I have been suffering from anxiety disorder and panic disorder due to extreme mental stress." So, God damn it. You know, listen, guys, I don't know how we reached a society where the answer to not showing up to court or to show up to answer to Congress or something like that is, I just can't. Like that's crazy to me. Like just nah, I'll pass, is basically what they're telling you, and that's just crazy to me. Like and I can't be the only one. I can't be the only person that's thinking this. Like this is absolutely out of its mind, crazy. So, oh my God. Now, this is the important part. JP Morgan Chase, Fed isn't too hawkish and crypto is kind of irrelevant. And that brings up the question, is crypto irrelevant? And I posted a poll today on this live stream to see like what your answer is. Like, is that the case? Is crypto irrelevant, or is it something that is relevant? And you know, it seems like a weird thing to be asking, but you know, JP Morgan Chase, like you know, they're fiat. They're fiat. They don't understand crypto. They're never going to understand crypto. But JP Morgan Chase President Daniel Pinto commented on the U.S. economy and cryptocurrency in an interview with CNBC published Monday. Pinto is also the global investment bank chief operating officer and CEO of its corporate and investment bank. The 59-year-old executive grew up in Argentina as a child, where inflation was often very high. He shared, noting that living with pervasive inflation was very, very stressful. Price increases in Argentina averaged more than 300% a year from 75 to 91. He said, that's why people say the Fed is too hawkish. I disagree. I think putting inflation back in a box is very important. Emphasizing that premature return to easier monetary policy risks repeating the mistakes of the 70s and 80s. Commenting on cryptocurrency, the JP Morgan executive claims that there is little progress recently in terms of the institutional adoption of crypto. The reality is the current form of crypto has become a small asset class that is kind of irrelevant in the scheme of things. However, he noted, but the technology, the concepts, something is probably going to happen there, just not in its current form. In contrast to Pinto's beliefs, many big companies and banks are seeing increased institutional interest in crypto and are ramping up their crypto services. NASDAQ established a crypto unit in September, citing increased demand for digital asset among institutional investors. Financial giant State Street recently said that it sees unwaning demand from institutions. In May, Citi, Wells Fargo, and BNY Mellon invested in crypto firm Talos, citing an acceleration in institutional adoption. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon also believes that blockchain and decentralized finance are real. However, he said cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, are decentralized Ponzi schemes. So, I don't know what you guys think, but that guy sounds like an asshole to me. And it's weird that it's JP Morgan. Like, it's weird that it's the same guy who takes every opportunity to dump on crypto that now has an assistant dumping on crypto. Now, big question here. Bitcoin and Ethereum price prediction. Is Bitcoin about to surge 100% this month? That is the question of the day. On October 25, the Bitcoin price showed a slight bearish correction after getting rejected at the 19,700 resistance mark. In contrast, Ethereum is consolidating in a narrow trading range of 1335 to 1360. Major cryptocurrencies are trading sideways, maintaining narrow trading ranges with a global crypto market cap of 931 billion and a trade volume of 513 billion. That's not true, by the way. It's 51.3 billion. Let's take a look at the top winners and losers so far. Blah, blah, blah. Bitcoin versus stock, positive correlation. We know. Fed pivot may continue to be dovish. During their November hearing, this is the important part. During their November hearing, Federal Reserve officials will likely discuss whether and how to announce plans to improve a smaller interest rate increase in December. They will see another 75 basis point increase in interest rate. The Wall Street Journal published an article by Nick Timiraos, CEO and founder of Reventure Consulting, on October 21. He is known as Wall Street as the Fed Whisperer, the reporter to whom the central banks turn when they need to convey a message. Remember, this is the guy that I told you about before, that this is the one that they always leak to. This is the one that always seems to get that that inside detail that you might be missing. I think the time is now to start talking about stepping down. The time is now to start planning for stepping down, said San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly during a talk at the University of California on Friday. So you might see that there's going to be a little bit of a you might start to see that they're going to start pulling back on this. And I mean, we'll see. If you do, then we're going to get an immediate rally. Like, there's going to be an immediate rally on almost everything if you get that. And we're starting to see, by the way, a nice little pump on Ethereum. If you're watching the Ethereum chart, by the way, then you're looking at this number right here of 1371. If you see 1371 hit on Ethereum, then it might be your opportunity to sell, take some profit, and then allow for it to dip back down, because as you can see over here, it did that, and then it just consolidated right around this 1330 range, which the guy was talking about. Like, if we get a pump and this thing starts to pump, I don't think that we're going to see 1412. Like, I think that we see this run here, we see another dip back down here. Most probably, if we're looking at like a line to sort of test, we get it here, and then we get a rejection that comes back down, maybe even testing here and then bouncing up, and then hopefully, we start to get that move, bang, and then bang. So that's kind of best case scenario, maybe. I mean, I guess the best case scenario would be this whole thing just moons and goes absolutely bonkers. But I think you get it. So anyway, back to this. The Fed ignored this year's rapid inflation for most of 2021 and the first few months of this year. So listen, when somebody's telling you that they know what the Fed's going to do, then they're going to have to explain to you why the Fed ignored everything through most of 2021, why they didn't do anything until now, and now they're having to press they're having to break down the market in order to fix all of the existing problems. So it's very important to understand that the Fed doesn't know shit about what they're doing, and they're not predictable. Not this group of Fed. They're not predictable. Also, here is another question right here. Is Binance too powerful for the market? And before you answer that question, I want you guys to think about all of the influence that CZ Binance seems to have in this marketplace and how he's looked at as a thought leader for all kinds of different projects. Does he have the same influence as Elon? Not yet, but it's getting closer and closer. If he makes a statement on a crypto, he moves the needle, though. He is like Elon in that context. Like he moves the needle. And no matter what you think of CZ Binance, he definitely, when he makes a comment on something, he gets a result. So thus far, that's been great. But how much longer do we go with this guy who is really at this point tipping scales, or getting ready to start tipping scales, if not actually, because pretty soon we're going to see, we heard that Twitter has a wallet that they're working on, and CZ Binance is offering to put 500 million, I think, into helping Elon Musk. So seems to be a lot going on in the background that we're not really privy to. And I don't know that that's a good thing. I mean, like, we can say that we like it. We can say that it's a good thing because it seems like it right now. But the question is, what's it going to be like in 2 or 3 years? What's it going to be like in 4 or 5 years? What's it going to be like even just a year from now? What if this whole thing is him getting a bigger and bigger head about cryptocurrency, and then all of a sudden he's basically trying to take over crypto as it is right now. Binance is the biggest exchange in the world by far, and I would be really nervous about giving anybody that much power. You should be. Like, we shouldn't be. And by the way, and in closing, we shouldn't be giving somebody that much power. So think about that. We'll talk about it later. Polygon's Matic eyes $1 level after recent breakout. So we're at 88 cents right now on Polygon. You can see that over here. We're at 88 cents. So it might be breaking out to $1. We'll see how that breaks out, how that plays out. I don't know for sure. And then finally, let's come in here and look at our tokens over here. We got Defund with the big lead for the day. We got WAGMI, 33.91, Volt 64.31. Finally started making a little bit of progress, a little bit of move last bunch of hours. It's got about 13 hours right now, a green candle. MMAI at 24.40, just not getting any kind of traction. Terrarium 77.56, the same thing, just not getting a lot of traction. Deconnect 561,000 market cap, had a nice little bump in the last hour or two. A couple of big buys come in. So, but then we have Boxa basically at zero. Swing down 1.8%. Hulk at 47.03, down 10.9%. And Lillian having a big retracing moment, back down to 24.27, after it had what was just an absolutely parabolic and significant sort of run. So, yeah, we had an interesting run on Lillian Finance, and when they announced the two, now the pump is probably priced in at this point, but we haven't announced the 2 tier 1 exchanges yet. And when I see that, then we'll know we'll know what's happening from there. Dow futures are starting to go down. NASDAQ is now up. So, Scott, thank you for the $50 bomb, man. I appreciate you. ETH 2.0 pump memes, pump chain. I don't have any faith in that until I see something actually happen. To me, ETH 2.0 is just another meme coin that the money's already been made on. And if it turns out to be something good, by the way, I reserve the right to take it all back. But oops. Here we go. I mean, here we are. Like, we're back at the start, right? I mean, like, we're literally on proof of memes back here at the start where we started, right? All the money's been made already. Like, we literally 10x. You're almost down 100% from that all-time high. And guys, like, look, I told you this. I didn't know. Look, first of all, I didn't know this had happened. But I told you guys this is what was going to happen. It had its pump, then it had its second pump, then it had its third big pump, and that was the end. Like, from this point on, no. Now, it might be able to use that marketing wallet, might be able to do something. So, we'll see what happens. But I just look, everybody's already happy using Ethereum. There's not enough. You know what? Maybe I'm speaking to. Maybe there is a thirst for ETH 2.0. Maybe there is. I just don't see it. So, but I've been wrong before. So, but Ethereum is continuing to pump. And all right, with that, I got to wrap it up, guys, because I got to go. I got to get some stuff done here. Another new employee starting, and I got to get ready because they're going to be here in like 30 minutes, and they're going to be doing something special here. So this is not financial advice. My name is Bleaves. I am always right. We will talk to you guys again very, very soon. I will see you guys for 8 p.m. For Bedtime with Bleaves tonight. You guys have a good night. We'll talk to you again soon.